Gasps filled the Las Vegas courtroom as the judge announced the final verdict. Overcome by the weight of his sentence, Austin Chumlee Russell collapsed in shock. The dramatic moment left the courtroom stunned, underscoring the deep emotions surrounding the case. But what led to this intense legal showdown between the beloved reality TV star and the justice system? Here's a closer look at the explosive legal battle that brought the Pawn Stars fan favorite to his knees. Chumlee became one of reality television's most entertaining figures, known for his comedic timing, relaxed personality, and ability to bring authenticity to every episode of the History Channel's hit show Pawn Stars. His television career, which spanned over a decade, featured unforgettable moments like purchasing a pinball machine, showcasing his expertise in video games, and delivering memorable catchphrases. However, his influence went beyond television. His impact on the collectibles market, contributions to the gold and silver pawn shop's rising popularity, and efforts to establish his own personal brand transformed him from a regular pawn shop worker into a cultural icon. His success on television was built on natural charisma, likability, and an unwavering commitment to staying true to himself. Initially cast as the shop's comic relief, Chumlee faced skepticism but refused to be limited by stereotypes. Instead, he focused on developing expertise in specific collectibles, eventually earning recognition as a valued member of the Pawn Stars cast. His charm and authenticity made him a fan favorite, cementing his status as the show's breakout star. What truly set Chumlee apart was his ability to connect with audiences on a deep, personal level, making him one of the most relatable figures in reality TV. While Pawn Stars made him famous, Chumlee's business ventures highlighted his strategic mindset. Leveraging his growing personal brand, he expanded into ventures like a candy shop, a clothing line, and personal appearances, efforts that brought in millions. This financial success would later become crucial in funding his legal defense when shocking charges surfaced, shaking his loyal fan base. The aftermath of Pawn Stars' success took both the show and Chumlee in very different directions. The History Channel series continued to thrive, becoming one of cable TV's most successful reality programs, boasting over 500 episodes and international syndication. Strong production values and an educational approach to entertainment helped solidify its reputation. Meanwhile, Chumlee faced the challenges that came with sudden fame. Initially, the public embraced the fun-loving character they knew from television, and his personal appearances drew massive crowds, proving his popularity extended beyond the show. However, the growing contrast between his public persona and private struggles created a mounting internal conflict. "I was living two completely different lives," Chumlee admitted in a 2017 interview with Entertainment Weekly. "But fame makes you feel invincible. I was determined to enjoy every moment, especially when people recognized me everywhere I went." This mindset led to an increasingly lavish lifestyle. While Pawn Stars remained focused on historical artifacts and negotiations, Chumlee's personal life took a different turn, filled with luxury cars, a mansion, and an extensive collection of sneakers and jewelry. His social media presence showcased his extravagant lifestyle, gaining millions of views and shaping a public image far removed from his humble beginnings at the pawn shop. By the mid-2010s, the contrast between his professional success and personal excess had become more pronounced, with both reaching new extremes. At its peak, Pawn Stars attracted millions of viewers, with special episodes drawing over 7 million people. Meanwhile, Chumlee's personal brand was expanding, leading to the launch of Chumlee's Candy Store on the Las Vegas Strip and a successful merchandise line. However, behind the scenes, he struggled with the pressures of sudden fame, which threatened to derail his career. He often spoke about how difficult it was to transition from an ordinary life to celebrity status. Going from a regular guy to someone who can't go to Walmart without taking 500 photos sent me spiraling, he admitted in a rare candid interview. I turned to things that helped me cope, and it nearly cost me everything. While the show became increasingly polished and professional, Chumlee's personal struggles worsened. By 2016, the gap between his public image and private reality had grown significantly. On television, he remained the lovable, sometimes naive character that fans adored. Off-screen, however, his life had taken a troubling turn, and soon those issues would come to light in a dramatic and very public way. After years of excess, Chumlee's legal troubles began with a police raid on his Las Vegas home in March 2016. The search was initially part of a sexual assault investigation. We executed a search warrant as part of an ongoing investigation, explained Officer Rodriguez in a press conference that quickly became a hot topic in entertainment news. What we discovered during that search led to additional charges unrelated to the initial investigation. The raid sparked widespread discussion, with media outlets analyzing its potential consequences for both Chumlee and the future of Pawn Stars. Just a week later, TMZ published shocking details that left fans in disbelief. Authorities had found guns, drugs, and drug paraphernalia throughout his home, an image completely at odds with the fun-loving personality viewers had come to know. "This isn't the Chumlee we know from TV," a fan wrote in a viral social media post. "This changes how I see the show. He never seemed like someone with these kinds of problems." The widening gap between his public persona and private struggles seemed to be the breaking point. Within weeks, prosecutors built a case against him, filing multiple felony charges. The accusations included drug and weapon possession, carrying potential prison sentences of up to 20 years if convicted. However, the case wasn't just about the legal consequences. It threatened the very foundation of Chumlee's carefully constructed public image, which was central to his career and financial success. The charges sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry, with experts warning that this could be the end of his reality TV career. Court documents later revealed the full extent of what authorities had found in Chumlee's home. Evidence logs listed multiple firearms, including assault-style weapons, along with a variety of illegal substances and related paraphernalia. The scale of the discoveries painted a troubling picture, leaving many questioning how one of reality TV's most recognizable figures had ended up in such a dark place. Such a situation in a significant development, the sexual assault investigation that initially led to the search did not result in charges due to insufficient evidence. However, prosecutors argued that the defendant's lifestyle posed unacceptable public safety risks. A prosecution document emphasized the need to seek maximum penalties, given the quantity and nature of the items discovered. The trial began with a tense atmosphere as Chumlee entered the courtroom, his somber expression captured by flashing cameras. Noticeably upset were his porn stars colleagues. Once a beloved television personality, he now faced his legal reckoning. "Your Honor, this case involves serious violations of controlled substance and weapons laws," the prosecutor stated in the opening argument. Evidence revealed that the defendant's home contained a stockpile of weapons along with substantial quantities of illegal substances. The courtroom grew tense when photographs of the seized items were presented. Chumlee kept his gaze down, occasionally shaking his head as particularly incriminating evidence was introduced. Cross-examination intensified the proceedings. "Detective, are you asserting that Mr. Russell was operating a drug distribution operation?" Chumlee's attorney questioned. "The amount and variety of substances suggest more than just personal use," the officer responded firmly. "Yet you found no scales, packaging materials, or distribution records typically linked to drug dealing," the attorney countered. Discussions around the firearms heightened tensions. "Would you agree that Mr. Russell is an avid collector, including historical weapons?" Chumlee's lawyer asked. Proper licensing and secure storage are required for collecting, the firearms expert stated bluntly. Chumlee, visibly distressed, leaned in to whisper to his attorney, prompting the judge to warn, "Please remain silent unless you are testifying." Legal experts weighed in on potential sentencing. Former prosecutor James Wilson stated, "These charges typically result in significant prison time." The combination of firearms and controlled substances creates a particularly severe legal situation. The defense highlighted Chumlee's lack of a prior criminal record and the impact of his celebrity status, which they argued had led to blurred boundaries. "My client became trapped in a cycle of excess that impaired his judgment," his attorney explained. "He never intended harm and has otherwise been a respected public figure." As the trial neared its conclusion, fans followed closely. This was more than just a legal battle. It was the possible downfall of a television star whose charm was built on his relatability and easygoing persona. Plea negotiations became a focal point, with both legal teams engaging in intense discussions over possible resolutions. The consequences were immense, with Chumlee's freedom at stake and the possibility of a lengthy prison sentence looming over him. Chumlee's career, reputation, and future on porn stars were all on the line, with the estimated financial damage reaching millions. Regardless of the outcome, everything hung in the balance. On the final day of the trial, crowds gathered outside the courthouse. Some fans held signs of support, while others wore porn stars merchandise. Inside, the atmosphere was tense as Judge Michael Davidson prepared to deliver the sentence following Chumlee's plea agreement. "In the matter of State versus Russell," the judge began, "this court has thoroughly reviewed the plea agreement negotiated between the prosecution and defense, taking into account all mitigating and aggravating factors." The courtroom was silent, the only sound being the rustling of papers. Chumlee stood with his hands slightly trembling at his sides. "The defendant has pleaded guilty to 1 felony weapons charge and 1 misdemeanor drug charge," the judge continued. "The remaining charges have been dismissed as part of the agreement." Chumlee's face remained tense, while his attorneys exchanged careful glances. However, the court needed to acknowledge the gravity of these offenses. "The possession of illegal substances and improperly registered firearms poses a significant public safety risk," the judge stated firmly. The sentence was clear. Chumlee would receive 3 years of probation, be required to attend counseling, undergo regular drug testing, and forfeit all items seized during the raid. But the most shocking condition was yet to come. Any violation of his probation would result in an automatic 3-year prison sentence with no additional hearings. "The court accepts the plea agreement under these conditions," the judge declared. "Mr. Russell, you are hereby sentenced to 3 years of probation under strict monitoring. Any violation will lead to immediate incarceration for 3 years. Do you understand these terms?" The weight of the judge's words hit Chumlee like a punch to the gut. After months of uncertainty and the looming threat of a decade-long sentence, this should have been a moment of relief. Instead, the reality of how close he had come to losing everything, and the immense pressure to avoid any mistakes, seemed suffocating. His face paled, sweat forming on his forehead, as the judge continued listing the terms. "Additionally, the defendant must complete 200 hours of community service," the judge stated. His voice grew faint, lost in the ringing in Chumlee's ears. The room seemed to tilt. His attorney, noticing something was wrong, placed a steadying hand on his arm. But it wasn't enough. The reality star, beloved by millions for his carefree personality, suddenly collapsed forward. A collective gasp filled the courtroom as security rushed toward him. The television personality lay unconscious before the court and the world. "He's having a panic attack," a paramedic in the gallery shouted, pushing through the crowd. "Give him space. Someone get water." As medical personnel hurried to his side, photographers captured the dramatic moment. Chumlee, the well-known porn star's personality, sprawled on the courtroom floor, an image that would soon dominate entertainment headlines across the globe. The strain of his legal troubles had finally taken a visible toll on him. Outside the courtroom, Rick Harrison made a brief appearance to check on his employee and friend, while concerned fans gathered in groups, many expressing shock at the dramatic conclusion of the case. However, the medical emergency quickly became the focus, overshadowing the legal verdict. Entertainment news outlets and social media erupted with concern as fans shared updates and messages of support using hashtags like #ChumleeStrong and #PornStarsFamily. 3 days later, Chumlee appeared in a video statement from his home, still looking shaken but beginning to regain his familiar smile. "Facing the consequences of my actions apparently gives you anxiety attacks," he said, attempting a weak joke. "The doctor says I need to make better choices." I know he's right. The health scare seemed to mark a turning point in how he presented himself to the public. In a surprising move, executives at the History Channel were reportedly supportive of his return to the show once he recovered. An anonymous source suggested the network saw his legal troubles as an opportunity for a genuine redemption arc. While official representatives declined to confirm any future plans, they also did not deny the possibility of his continued involvement. Chumlee's next public statement took on a more serious tone. "I let fame cloud my judgment. I made mistakes that could have cost me everything," he admitted. "I'm grateful for this second chance, and I promise my fans I won't waste it." His words sparked discussions in the entertainment industry, with one experienced reality TV producer commenting, "This legal battle has altered his path. Audiences are drawn to redemption stories, and Chumlee now has one that feels real." Observers noted that he seemed focused on his legitimate business ventures while meeting all court requirements. Supporters quickly flooded online forums with encouraging messages about his potential return, though neither Chumlee nor the network provided any specific timelines. When asked directly about coming back to television, he gave a measured response. "Right now, my priority is getting healthy and making better decisions. The show has been like a family to me for years, and I hope to make them proud again." Rather than becoming a career-ending scandal, the legal battle had unexpectedly turned into a possible new chapter. Interest in Pawn Stars remained high, with many viewers eager to see Chumlee back on screen. For longtime fans who had followed his journey from an unknown pawn shop employee to a reality TV personality, the courtroom drama served as a reminder of the dangers of fame. His sudden collapse had not just been a breaking point, it may have been the moment when a more genuine version of himself began to emerge from behind his once carefree persona. How do you think fame influences personal judgment? Share your thoughts in the comments.